أقوال الشيوخ فأنتم.
Of Saint Gregory of Nyssa. I like it. Hello.
How's it going, man? How are you?
I'm okay, brother. I'm better that you're here now. How are you, man?
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing well.
Are you a Christian?
Yes, sir.
Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, Oriental, Protestant? What are you?
I just identify as Christian. I was Cradle Oriental Orthodox.
Oh, you were Oriental Orthodox. So you're Egyptian?
Yeah. No, Armenian.
Oh, Armenian. Oh,
Yes,
nice,
sir.
nice. You're part of the Armenian church. Okay, now you guys are in communion with the Coptic Egyptian church, yeah? And the Indian church?
Yeah, you bet.
Nice, nice. So why did you leave that behind?
Oh, I didn't leave it behind. I still.
Oh, so you are still in the church?
Yep. I just in terms of identification, I just say I'm a Christian. So.
Okay. All right. That's fine. All right. How can I help you today, man?
All right, my bro. Okay, so I want to run through. Actually, this is going to be on the topic of the previous person, but I want to go to the scripture and then show you what the scripture says, man, because we can extract a lot from even the Old Testament alone regarding the Trinity. So if you don't mind, we can jump in.
All right. Go for it.
I'm sure you're familiar, but I want to, pinpoint this. So if you go to Genesis 1:26, I don't know if you want to pull it up.
We made man in our image and our likeness.
Yes, sir. It says, and God said, "Let us make men in our image, after our likeness."
And the next verse says what?
Next verse. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
So God made man in His own image.
Right, but that doesn't.
So there's a singular person who made in His image.
Correct, but who is God speaking to in verse 26?
The divine council, just like He says in Psalm 82, verse 6, "Ye are gods, ye are sons of the Most High."
I don't think that follows because God is a singular being, right?
Yeah, He's a singular being.
But then why would you say our image, our likeness?
Yeah. So when He says in our image, in our likeness, it's sort of like if your mom tells you, let's bake a cake, or your girlfriend tells you, let's bake a cake. Okay? Let us bake a cake. Yes?
Okay.
But then she goes to make a cake on her own. Did she mess up when she says, let's make a cake?
No, but both were clearly involved, right?
Yeah, so when He says, let us make man in our own image, He's just speaking to the divine council. And that's why it says, and God made man in His own image.
Wait, define divine council. What do you mean by that?
The council of the host of the heavens, the angels.
So you're just saying
the beings that God is speaking to, heavenly beings.
No, but hold on, wait, because it says, let us make man in our image.
And then
after
the next verse says what?
Yeah, 1 sec.
So it's either you have a contradiction or it's what I said, because it says, let us make, and then only one of them makes in his own image.
But there's no contradiction. It says, verse 27 says, so God created man in his own image.
In his own image. So is it a plurality that's made in their image, or one person who made in his image? You can't pick and choose. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
No, there's no contradiction. It's a plurality, which is oneness. That's the point.
Okay. Is it a plurality that's making man in their image, or is it one person making man in his image?
Well, that's the thing, that the God is triune.
Okay,
right?
no, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say, look, it says let us, so there's many that are making in their own image. Then it says let's, and then it says one made man in his own image, and switch around. It doesn't work that way.
There's no.
It's either you're sticking with your first argument or not. Is it many that are making in their own image? Hey, brother, just listen, brother. You need to pay attention. Is it a plurality that's making in their image, or is it one person making in his image?
Well, that's the point, right? So it's a plurality in terms of the Father speaking directly.
I didn't ask that, bro. I didn't ask, brother. I didn't ask that. Pay attention.
Okay, what's your question again?
How is it a plurality making or one person making?
It is one person, yes, making.
It's one person?
Correct.
Okay, so then the let us make, who's speaking there?
It's God.
God, what do you mean it's God? It's one person speaking or three persons speaking?
It's the Trinity there. Well,
Brother.
God the
Who
Father
is
is the
brother,
one
brother? Who is speaking, brother? Who is the speaker? Who's
yeah,
speaking?
it's
When it
God.
says let us, who's speaking?
God.
Oh Lord. You need to further explain, because when you say God, you're being very, very, very unclear. Are you saying that three persons are speaking or one person is speaking?
The Father, the Godhead, right, who's central to the Trinity, is
Oh
speaking
Lord.
to his
Who,
Son.
brother, who's speaking, brother? When it says let us make, who's speaking?
It's God with the pre-incarnate Christ.
Okay, so two are speaking.
To each other, they're conversing, yes. Which is
Okay,
why it's
and
both.
then okay, two. Then
Uh-huh.
only one makes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when it says let us make and only one makes, you don't have a problem. So then you refuted your own argument. Because when I said when the one God speaks as divine counsel saying let us make, you said, well, no, they all have to make because he says let us make in our image. And I said, no, just because he says let us make, they don't all have to make. Only one of them can make.
No,
So
well,
you just
I believe
refuted
in
your argument.
no, I believe in the monarchical Trinitarianism. So the Father
That's
is central
amazing.
to the
That's nice
Trinity.
that you believe that. But the verse that you just quoted doesn't
There's no
prove that.
contradiction, though. There's no contradiction because the
Okay, I
Son
didn't say there's a
is the
contradiction.
manifestation of the Father, and
No,
so
brother,
they have this.
brother.
They bear the same image. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's amazing. How many made in their image, in his image? Is it one or three?
One.
One. Okay, I agree. So where's the
Mhm.
Trinity here?
Well, you have one divine hypostasis.
There's
which
nothing.
contains
There's
the one
no
divine
divine
essence.
hypostasis. There's nothing like that here. There's no hypostasis,
Yes, there is.
There's nothing like that here.
Metaphysically, if you want to define it, that's
No,
exactly what it is.
there's nothing metaphysically that leads me to say that this is one divine hypostasis.
Well, if
There's
you
nothing
like, for
reading
example,
Genesis, there's nothing that leads me to believe that there is multiple hypostases.
well,
Nothing.
this is a singular verse. We can. I want to get to
Yeah,
more.
so right. So this verse doesn't help your case. So you can move on now because this verse doesn't help. You
No, it
asked me
does
who's
because
you asked me to explain why does it say let us? I said it's speaking to the divine counsel.
no, but
And you
okay,
said
hold on, my friend, because you want to impose a false dichotomy between the Trinity in terms of like the
what's the
Father in
false
this case
dichotomy?
speaking to the Son.
Wait,
They're
what's the false
both in the
dichotomy?
same likeness. They both have the same divine hypostasis and
Okay,
essence.
brother, you're
Make
not getting it.
sense?
That's fine. You could say that, but that's not what
Uh-huh.
the text says. So when you're doing exegesis of the text, you're trying to let the text, you're trying to derive your
Sure, okay.
dogma from the text, not shoehorn and read your dogma into the text. So you could say they have the same image, different image, similar image, up, down, hypostases.
It's not
You
shoehorning, my
could
friend.
just wait. You could believe that, but does the text say that? It doesn't.
I
So
think it's
what your
explicitly clear
objective has
enough, my friend.
failed.
I think it's explicitly clear enough, but we can
Okay,
move on
so
to
where
others.
okay, maybe where is it clear? Go ahead.
Oh,
Where
just
is
like
it clear?
just as you were saying, right? So verse 26 says, "Let us make man in our image."
Yeah,
after our likeness."
why can't it be the three Mormon gods speaking to each other? Why can't it be one God and two other lower gods? Why can't it be five gods speaking
Okay,
to
let me
five
explain.
hypostases?
Because the one true God, right,
Uh-huh.
the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he
Uh-huh.
revealed himself in the flesh as
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
that's an assertion though. So what's the evidence for that?
Well, we have scriptural evidence in the
All
Old
right,
Testament
go
alone.
ahead. The
The
evidence.
prophetic
Provide
fulfillment
it.
will prove it, my friend.
Provide the evidence.
Yeah. All right. So
So then
let's go
Genesis
to.
doesn't help you. That's why you see. There's nothing in Genesis that
Well, you don't
implies
want
what you
it to
believe
help,
in.
but you can.
No, I
That is a
refuted
direct
everything you said.
interpretation.
So where's go ahead. We
Okay.
need something from the text that reads from the text that is
Uh-huh.
derived from the text.
I'm with you, bro. So that's what I'm here to investigate with you.
Go ahead.
Okay, so let's move on to Micah chapter 5 verse 2.
Yeah, his origin is from everlasting. That's referring, or not from everlasting. His origin is from the days of old. This is referring to the Davidic promise that's of old.
Mm-hmm. But if you,
I know it's off the top of my head.
No, but if you read the actual translation,
Yeah,
from
I've read it
Hebrew
before
to
100
English,
times.
it says from everlasting.
Yeah,
Meaning
this
what?
is this is just referring to a very long time of days of old, because everlasting in the Hebrew Bible never actually means everlasting. For example, in the book of Kings, Solomon says to the temple is everlasting. Did the temple ever last?
Yes.
The
The
temple
physical
is
building,
forever.
no, but the temple itself of God.
He's looking
yes.
at the building.
Well, that's not the correct understanding.
But Solomon is looking at the building. He says this temple is staying forever.
The temple of God never died away, though.
Hey brother, he's
Spiritual.
looking at the hey brother. He's looking at the
Mhm.
building. Stop shoehorning your spiritual Pauline understanding of the text.
Uh-huh.
Solomon is looking at the building. He says this building is going to be forever.
Okay, the building itself crumbled, but then was it rebuilt?
Okay, so
later
it wasn't
on?
forever.
Yeah. But that's the whole point. It's a spiritual understanding.
Okay, good. And in Daniel chapter 2, the astrologers say to King Nebuchadnezzar, "May the king live forever." Did they think he was going to be eternal and never die like a god?
This was regarding who? Sorry.
King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon.
I don't think that would be a literal statement. I think that was just an expression
Okay, so
of honor and
forever.
praise.
Okay, good. So then forever doesn't actually always mean forever. So then the
But in
understanding
certain
there's
context
nothing.
it does, right?
Yeah,
In certain
brother.
context it can mean that.
Yeah, and there's nothing in Micah that tells us the king of Israel who's gonna. And by the way, let's actually go to Micah. I'm gonna show you how this is a poor attempt. Okay, I'm gonna show you how this is a terrible attempt. Okay,
All right,
let's
show
go.
me.
I'm gonna show you. I got you. We're gonna go to Micah chapter 5. Okay, now look at this. But you, Bethlehem, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from old, from ancient times. Okay. Now watch this. There's nothing here that tells us this is a divine hypostasis, some kind of man god. Nothing here tells us that. Okay. Therefore, Israel will be abandoned until the time she who is in labor bears a son, and the rest of his brothers return to join the Israelites. He will stand and shepherd his flock in the strength of Yahweh, in the majesty of the name of Yahweh his God. They will receive securely, for then his greatness will reach the ends of the earth. He will be our peace when the Assyrians invade our land and march through our fortresses. Did Jesus save the Jews from the Assyrians who marched through the lands of Israel?
What does that have to do with Micah 5 verse 2? This is a messianic prophecy. You've changed the subject now.
Hold on, wait.
But I'll
What are
answer
you
it for
talking?
you.
Wait, 1 second. Is the same person who's coming from Bethlehem the same person who Micah says will save the Jews from the Assyrian armies?
Yeah, that's a prophetic text.
Okay, so did Jesus save the Jews from the prophetic army, from the Syrian army?
Not historically, because God's judgment was
Okay,
upon
so
the
then he
Israelites,
doesn't
right?
fulfill Micah.
But
2,
hold on.
Micah 5.
Because that's a prophetic text. The Assyrian
so
army is going to be the army of the Antichrist.
Okay, if it's a prophetic text, what does that mean? Are you saying he's going to do it in the future?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. So okay, good. You could believe that. You could have faith, but that means he didn't fulfill it. Right?
He did fulfill it.
All right, show me where Jesus saved the Jews from Assyrian armies who invaded their land.
Well, if you want me to pull up like a particular historical scenario, I'd have to look up like the specifics.
Okay, brother, I don't. You can't, because Jesus didn't save Jews. Jesus wasn't a ruler of Israel. Jesus didn't save the Jews from any invading army. Jesus was slapped up by Romans. So he didn't fulfill this prophecy, dude.
No. Well, hold on a second, because Jesus, obviously, even in the Old Testament, we can equate him with God as he was revealed in the New Testament.
Okay, good. Okay,
so he
Micah
did protect the Israelites at times.
Thank you. So Micah 5:2 doesn't prove anything, and Jesus doesn't fulfill it. So now you're 2 for 2. Both of them flopped. Is there anything that Jesus does fulfill that tells us he's going to be a man, God, Messiah?
Well, I would contest what you were saying, like to say that, he didn't protect the Israelites at all.
I didn't say protect the Israelites. I say save them from the Assyrian invading army, dude. That's what it says. He's going to save them from the Assyrian invading army. Did he do that?
Well, I'm sure that historically he did to some extent. I mean, I'm sure the Assyrians invaded the Israelites on several occasions, correct?
Oh my God. Jesus saved the Assyrians from invading Israel?
Saved the Assyrians from invading Israel?
Sorry, saved Israel from the invading Assyrians?
I'm sure historically on some occasions.
All right, show me it.
I mean, I'd have to look up the historical facts, but that
fine. Go ahead. Historical facts. Jesus the pacifist Messiah who was under Roman occupation, who was crucified by a bunch of Romans. Somehow he was the king of Israel who saved Israelites as their king from invading Assyrian armies. I'd love to go ahead, please.
Okay, I tied that into the angel of the Lord throughout the Old Testament, who was the prefigured, pre-incarnate Christ.
Okay,
And
now
so
you want to.
he was
Okay,
the
so
messenger
you want to
of
move
God.
on. You want to move on to Malach Yahweh?
It's up to you, but I had other scripture verses. I
No,
wanted to
but,
run
so
by.
Micah didn't work. Jesus didn't fulfill it. Okay, so now you want to move to Malach Yahweh or Malach Elohim, right? You're saying that Malach Yahweh is the pure incarnate Christ?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So why does Malach Yahweh appear in Matthew while Jesus was already born?
I'd have to see the
All right, we'll look
scripture
at it right
passage
now.
itself.
All right,
Yeah.
no problem, brother. Let's look at it. Matthew chapter 2. Here we go. All right. Let's see. All right, here we go. Matthew chapter 2, verse 13. All right, here we go. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child, that's Jesus, and his mother, and flee into Egypt. How can the angel of Yahweh be Jesus when he appears while Jesus is born as a baby?
Because angel in that context literally means an angelic being.
Okay, so the angel of the Lord is not Jesus.
In this context, correct. It is not Jesus.
Okay, so what determines
right.
what context is Jesus and what context is not Jesus?
Okay, that's a good question. It basically depends, because in the Old Testament, angel of the Lord means messenger of the Lord. So we have to look at the direct translation.
Here in Matthew 2, it also means messenger of the Lord. It's the same word used, angelos kyriou.
But for example, like in I think it's Genesis 32, right? Jacob wrestled with God.
That's fine. That's the angel Gabriel.
Well, no, it says, I've seen God face to face.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just like Isaiah is called Yahweh when he speaks on the behalf of Yahweh, and just like Aaron is called Yahweh when he speaks on the behalf of Yahweh.
Well, okay, and then you have like, I'm not sure I forget what chapter this is, but Melchizedek, right? He appears to Abraham, and he presents him with the bread and the wine. So
Nice.
That's another
Nice.
epiphany of our Lord.
That's nice. So where is Jesus though?
Well, that's the point. So he is manifested through that individual.
But where are you getting that from the text? I know you want to think that, but where does the text say that?
We'd have to look at, specific passages. I have to pull it up. Because the characteristics of the angel of the Lord in those contexts, it's the context that determines that,
all right,
so the angel of the Lord has the qualities of God. So
okay,
it's not just a mere angelic being.
Okay, and the same angel of the Lord appears in Matthew 2?
Not the same, but
why is it not the same?
Because Christ was already born at that point.
Oh, so you're begging the question. That's circular. You're assuming that it's Christ to take away the fact that it can't be the angel of the Lord. You can't assume it's Christ and then eliminate the possibility. You're begging the question. We're trying to find out that it's Christ. You can't assume that it's Christ to eliminate that it's not the angel of the Lord. What is the justification that it's not the angel of the Lord in Matthew 2 without begging the question?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up a particular, I forgot what verse it was. The angel of the Lord is explicitly described as being God. So that's not just an angel, but the messenger of God himself.
Isaiah is explicitly identified as being Yahweh, and Aaron is explicitly identified as being Yahweh.
What passages are those?
Exodus chapter 7 and Isaiah chapter 7.
I'd have to read the text
itself. All right, let's read them right now. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. I hope that you hold the same energy when we pull this up. I hope that you,
of course,
keep the same energy and call Isaiah God. All right, here we go. When Ahaz, the son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, was the king of Judah, king of Rezin of Aram, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, marched up to fight against Jerusalem, but they could not overpower it. Now the house of David was told, Aram has allied itself with Ephraim. So the Assyrians teamed up with the northern kingdom of Israel to attack the southern kingdom of Israel, where Ahaz was the king, the Davidic king at the time. So the hearts of Ahaz and his people were shaken. So the people of Jerusalem were shaken, as the trees of the forest were shaken by the wind. Then Yahweh said to Isaiah, who's speaking to Isaiah?
God.
Yahweh. Go out, you and your son, Shir Jashub, to meet Ahaz at the end of the aqueduct of the upper pool, on the road of the launderer's field. Say to him, who's going to speak to him?
Yahweh.
No. Who is Yahweh speaking to?
Hold on one second. Oh, to Isaiah, yeah.
To Isaiah. And he tells Isaiah, go speak to Ahaz, right?
Yes.
Okay. Say to him, be careful, keep calm, and don't be afraid. Do not lose heart because of these two smoldering stubs of firewood, because of the fierce anger of Rezin and Aram of the son of Remaliah. Aram, Ephraim, and Remaliah's son have plotted your ruin, saying, let us invade Judah, let us tear it apart and divide it amongst ourselves, and make the son of Tabeel king over it. Yet this is what Yahweh says. It will not take place, it will not happen, for the head of Aram is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is only Rezin. Within 65 years, Ephraim will be too shattered to be a people. The head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is only Remaliah's son. If you do not stand firm in your faith, you will not stand at all. Again, Yahweh spoke to Ahaz. Wait, God sent Isaiah to speak to Ahaz, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And then now who speaks to Ahaz?
God.
Okay, so Isaiah is God.
No, you're not understanding, because God spoke through Isaiah as his messenger.
But why does it say Yahweh spoke to Ahaz?
Because he spoke through Isaiah.
Oh, let's do the cha-cha.
That doesn't make Isaiah God. He spoke through him.
Hey, exact. Let's do the cha-cha, man. So even though it calls Isaiah Yahweh, it doesn't mean that Isaiah is Yahweh, because Yahweh is speaking through Isaiah, right?
Well, Isaiah is definitely not Yahweh, but but God spoke through him as his messenger.
You got it, man.
Do you think God could speak through his prophets?
Right, and God can speak through the angel of the Lord.
Yes, of course.
And the angel of the Lord can be called Yahweh without being God.
No, I would say no to that.
Oh my God. What? So why then Isaiah is called Yahweh without being God?
Well, it doesn't explicitly say that. Oh, Isaiah is called Yahweh.
Who is speaking to Ahaz?
God.
No, Isaiah is sent to speak to Ahaz, right?
Yeah.
And then it says God Yahweh spoke to Ahaz, right?
Yes.
So then Isaiah is Yahweh.
No, I mean that's a false conclusion.
Why is it a false conclusion?
It just doesn't logically follow that.
Why doesn't it logically follow?
God spoke
Why doesn't it
through
logically
this person
follow?
or inspired this person. Therefore, that.
Where does it say he inspired the person?
Well, he spoke through him, right? So
where does it say he spoke through him? It says Yahweh spoke to Ahaz.
So if a prophet speaks the words of God, does that make them God? That would make all the prophets.
No, but
God.
it says Yahweh spoke to Ahaz.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so then Isaiah is called Yahweh, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't equate Isaiah with Yahweh.
Allahu Akbar. So same way, the angel of the Lord carries the name Yahweh while speaking the words that God conveys him to speak without himself being Yahweh, sir. You see?
No, hold on. If the angel of the Lord is identified as Yahweh, then he literally
Isaiah is identified as Yahweh. Dude, we just looked at it.
No, he's not identified as Yahweh. It just says the Lord spoke to Ahaz.
Oh my God. Bro. Who is speaking to Ahaz? Who is standing there speaking to Ahaz, dude?
Okay, Isaiah in that context.
So why does it say Yahweh spoke to him?
Because God spoke through Isaiah. It does not
And
make Isaiah
does
God.
it say God's? Does it say
But that's not a
Yahweh
one size
spoke?
fits all answer.
Wait,
That's not a
does
one
it
size
say,
fits all answer.
dude? Does it say Yahweh spoke through Isaiah, or does it say Yahweh spoke to Ahaz?
Yeah, he spoke to Ahaz.
And who was actually speaking?
God.
Who was standing there actually speaking these words?
Isaiah was communicating.
So Isaiah is
what
called
God inspired
Yahweh.
him to say.
Specific. He is literally called
That
Yahweh.
doesn't make him God, dude. No. That's
Okay,
just
I
bad logic.
agree. Oh my God, this guy, he's not getting it. I agree it doesn't make him God. That refutes you. Because you said the angel of the Lord is called Yahweh.
Yeah, but
I agree, but it doesn't make him
context,
God.
Isaiah is not identified as Yahweh. If the angel, I agree that.
Oh my God,
the context
guys,
matters, right?
these people become illiterate when they come on the stage. What do you mean he's not identified as Yahweh? It says Yahweh spoke to Ahaz.
No, but it doesn't say that. Oh, Isaiah is Yahweh. If that makes sense, God can speak through His messengers.
Where does it say
correct?
the angel of the Lord is Yahweh?
Like, do you think Isaiah has
This way.
hypostasis of God?
This way. Where does it say the angel of the Lord is Yahweh in those words?
Okay, hold on. That's the verse I'm trying to pull up right now.
All right, go ahead. We're gonna see the angel of the Lord is Yahweh. All right, let's see it.
Okay, 1 second.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to find exact wording that the angel of the Lord is Yahweh.
You're not going to find exact wording where it says Isaiah is Yahweh. But it identifies Isaiah as Yahweh because it says Isaiah went to speak to Ahaz, but then it says Yahweh spoke to Ahaz.
Right, but the angel of the Lord
you see how you just refuted
being,
yourself?
right? Wait, sorry.
No, the angel of the Lord is not a divine being. You have to prove that.
No, like, for example, if it says the angel of the Lord as just an angelic being, okay, is that angel itself, well, I wouldn't say divine. I'd say a heavenly being.
Yeah, he's an angel.
Right, okay, so not just a mere man, that's my point. So the angel
Who said the angel of the Lord is a mere man? The angel of the Lord is not a man. He's an angel.
Correct. Yeah, no, that's my point. So like the analogy that you were just referring to, it's not a one-to-one analogy.
What do you? He's a mere angel. He's a mere angel, not Yahweh, not divine.
Right. So my point is right. So then when it comes to the angel of the Lord who is associated with Yahweh,
Isaiah is associated with Yahweh and Aaron is associated with Yahweh.
No, but that doesn't mean that they have the divine
Good.
nature.
So it doesn't mean that the angel of the Lord has a divine nature.
I would say it depends on the context.
Okay, what context makes the angel of the Lord have a divine nature?
Okay, like for example, as I mentioned before, right? When you had the individual who wrestled with Jacob, that person literally was God, but in human form.
No, it doesn't. It says that I have seen Yahweh, but then guess what? Guys, you know how he just buried himself and got baked? Jesus saves. You said that who wrestled with Yahweh? It was God himself.
Who wrestled with Jacob? It was God.
It was God, but in human form, right?
Yes.
All right, guys, check this out. Check this out. Watch this.
No.
Wow, man. Let's see what the prophet Hosea says. Can you read it for us? Can you read it?
Yeah, let's see. He struggled with the angel and overcame him. He wept and begged for his favor.
He struggled with who?
The angel.
I thought it was God in human form.
What's the full context? Is this regarding Jacob?
Yes, Hosea is speaking about Israel, Jacob, fighting God in Genesis. Let's do the cha-cha, man.
I want to see the like fuller context.
Sure, man. Let's do it. No problem, man.
Okay.
Let's go. One second. Okay, here we go. In the womb, he grasped his brother's heel. As a man, he struggled with God. See, the New Living Translation. Even in the womb, Jacob struggled with his brother. When he became a man, he even fought with God. Next verse. He struggled with what?
Yeah, the angel in that case means messenger. Not an angelic
so
creature.
did he struggle with an angel or with God in human form?
God in human form.
So does he say, but the Hosea says he struggled with an angel.
God in the form, angel meaning messenger in the form of
But
a
you
man.
said, no, it's his human form, remember? God
Correct,
in human, so he struggled with a human form God, right?
Yes.
So why does it say he struggled with an angel?
Well, human form, but obviously, God is divine. So
why does it say he struggled with an angel and overcame him?
Because angel in that context means messenger. It doesn't mean an actual literal
angel. Okay. So then you could just arbitrarily translate angel how you like it. So there's no angels. God never created beings called angels. They're just messengers, right? They're all gods.
It depends on the context.
Okay, so where in this context do you get that this is the angel of the Lord or God or divine?
Because it says that he wrestled with God, just even in the previous verse. Right?
He didn't literally wrestle with God. Obviously, me and you agree, he didn't literally wrestle with God, right?
No, it says in Genesis 32 that he did. Jacob did.
Oh my God.
So
Jacob beat God.
His thigh was injured in the actual wrestling.
Did Jacob overcome God? He beat God in a wrestling match?
No, obviously not.
So it wasn't actually God. It was an angel.
No, it was God. It was
okay.
God.
So then God lost to Jacob in a wrestling match.
No, he overcame him, and then Jacob.
So who won the wrestling match?
His blessing, and then he blessed him.
So who won the wrestling match? Who won the wrestling match?
God.
What the? Yo, is this guy okay? Let's read the verse again. Who overcame who?
He overcame it in that he pleaded for God's mercy, right? His blessing.
No.
And then
Did
he
relented. No, it doesn't say that. It says he overcame him. Hey, bro. If you're gonna keep doing this, bro, I'm gonna kick you down. Because you've been getting grilled and baked for the whole I don't know how long you've been.
Honest, we have to
and every time I bring you something in front of your eyes, you start yapping and waffling, dude. Stop doing that. I hate it, bro.
No, but okay.
Who overcame who, bro?
Yeah. He struggled with the angel, right?
Who overcame who?
Jacob overcame God in that situation. Why?
Okay, so Jacob beat God in a wrestling match, right?
Well, it wasn't like an Olympic wrestling match. God had mercy on him and let him.
Was it a real wrestling match? Was it a real wrestling match?
Yeah, it wasn't like a sports competitive wrestling match.
Yeah, I didn't say sports competitive, bro. This is not the freaking Olympics, bro. So
that's my point.
Okay, so did God?
And he allowed him to.
Okay, did God lose in a wrestling match to Jacob?
It's not a matter of winning or losing.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Out. Get out of here.